How you doing, everyone, and welcome to Direct Dreadnought Gundam and More on PS4. And this is the RGM 79 SP Gym Sniper 2 White Dingo variant. And this is my favorite mobile suit in the Gundam Universal Century timeline. This is the Robot Gundam Mass Production Type Release Year 79 Sniper variant, the second Sniper variant after the Gym Sniper Custom and the Gym Ground Type Sniper. This is an amazing mobile suit and the culmination of many aspects of the Gym line and inspired future generations of Federation frontline mobile suits for decades to come. This is the Grunt mobile suit, but it is so much more than a sniping mech from any other game. This mobile suit was designed from the ground up to be superior at any range and is one of the most expensive Grunt mobile suits of the 1 Year War, and for good reason. The Gym Sniper 2 as a model and as a design is a gorgeous mobile suit. It is just wonderful. I love it more than any of the Gundams. I think it is just terrific. It is grounded in reality. It has beautiful design, beautiful vernier design. It really looks like it has the optics, the armor, the mobility, and the capability to enable any veteran Grunt who's not in a Gundam to just take on whatever the enemy sends its way. So, this is, of course, a model that I own in the high-grade, Bandai high-grade 1/144 scale. And on top of all of that, I have played this mobile suit in several Gundam games, and it is just awesome. However, this mobile suit is usually relegated to the support role, and in games is usually just armed with either a ballistic or long-range beam sniper rifle, so it is usually typecast as a sniper, but the lore supports a different story, and luckily Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 supports a different story as well, and that's one of the reasons why I love this game so much. And let's get into lore on my favorite Universal Century mobile suit in this special to me Gundam Sunday plus lore on Direct Dreadnought Gundam and More. So as you may know from previous lore Sundays, that the Gym line was an easily mass-produced scaled-down version of the Gundam to be the main mobile suit in the fight against the various enemies of the Earth Federation, especially Zeon and Neo Zeon. It has a long and flavored history, and even though it is a very good line of mobile suits, it's very easy to mass produce, it's very easy to repair, very easy to pilot, and is armed with very capable weapons. It is, of course, defeated by some of the ace enemy mobile suits, especially new types that can use psychic powers to control very complex mobile suits and mobile armors to dish out a lot of damage. But this is the mobile suit line that holds the line until the Gundam can show up and change the tide of battle, and a terrific mobile suit line it is. After the Gym was released, it was discovered that it was a little too stripped down, like the Sherman tank of the Second World War. It was very effective at what it did, but it just couldn't hold its own against some of the more powerful mobile suits out there. And it did hold the line, but it needed to be improved and made more effective, especially for veteran and ace pilots who did really well in the Gym. But let's face it, it can be a one-way ticket. It can be a flying coffin when pitted against some of the amazing experimental mobile suits that Zeon and Neo Zeon came out with. So the Federation made the Gym Command series, and the Gym Command series, as covered in previous episodes, as you know, is a seriously upgraded line of Gyms that balances performance and cost, and they made three main units, being the Gym Space, which had many verniers, a little extra armor, and much better weaponry. The Gym Command Ground series, which also had an extensive suite of weaponry but was more tailored to ground combat, but could be modified to send into space if necessary, and made the Gym Sniper 2. the Command Series took in a lot of feedback from combat, from the Gundam's computer, and feedback from the pilots to get the best capability out of the machine without raising the cost too much, especially with the GM Space and the GM Command ground type. However, many battles saw that having long-range support besides the gun cannon that was used to take out battleships, to take out ace pilots, to take out critical locations where a frontal assault would just cost too many lives in mobile suits, the realization came that sniping mobile suits, especially when given large caliber beam sniper rifles, could do tremendous damage and save a lot of lives on the battlefield. So the Command Series, not only having a commonality of parts between all three units, models of the Command Series, and of course the mass production variant of the gun cannon, they decided to take it a step further and make a mobile suit worthy of someone that proved themselves to be a veteran or ace pilot, and especially those that proved themselves to be an excellent shot with good instincts and good aim. And this is where the GM Sniper 2 came about, with the success of units that were snipers from completely different GM model lines, such as the GM Sniper Custom, which was a basic GM up-armored and given experimental sniping weaponry and was used to great effect, and the ground type sniper, which was a basic GM ground type outfitted with a large caliber beam rifle which could actually sink spaceships as well as take out mobile armors and enemy ace pilots. It became so apparent that one of the Command Series needed to be the culmination of not only all the feedback from combat that went into the Command Series, but also the feedback and capabilities of all these various sniper units that were usually either experimental or limited production, and put this mobile suit into mass production. Now, there wasn't too many of these mobile suits to go around by the end of the 1 year war, but this mobile suit was so capable it actually continued its long-lasting service and capability past the 1 year war, and also inspired the anti-Earth Union group mobile suit, the Nemo, in the Grips conflict during the events of Zeta Gundam. And of course, as stated before in previous videos, the Nemo is the predecessor to the frontline mobile suit known as the Jagan, which had the longest lasting service history in the Federation, bar none, and was a tremendously awesome mobile suit. So let's get into the capabilities of this thing. Right out of the gates, you can see that, of course, it's a handsome mobile suit with an awesome color scheme of navy blue and light blue to give it the Federation colors, but also give it a nice camouflaged, easygoing silhouette in space and colony use where it could blend into its surroundings. It replaced the head Vulcans with superior optics, superior aiming computer, and on top of that, instead of just limiting it to ground service, it had advanced calf verniers. So it had foot verniers for en bas capability, but also 2 engines in each calf. It had thruster verniers in each shoulder, and it had 2 powerful main engine verniers in the back, giving it really superior mobility compared to other GMs and almost on par with the GM Command Space type. On top of all this, it had additional armor plates, much like the M1 Abrams and Challenger tank in today's armies for the US and the British Army. It took conventional armor to keep costs down, but in key locations put blocks and little squares of Gundanium lunar titanium alloy to give it better survivability against very dangerous foes. On top of all that, it was weapons capable with the entire GM line of weaponry. So it was not just a sniper, and often this suit, where able, was given to aces, veterans, and sometimes even rookies, and had the capability to use the giant bullpup machine gun, the hyper bazooka, the mass-produced beam rifle, which you're seeing in these replays and is one of my favorites, of course, and it could do the sniper weaponry or beam spray gun, and it had really good aim and really excellent capability, and that's just great. So all of this turned it into a machine that could be used for many roles, and the Titans and Earth Federation used this mobile suit after the 1-year war, and it was a staple in not just ace and veteran hands, but also a staple in special operations for the Earth Federation for many years to come. This particular variant is from the side story game 0079 for the White Dingo team, which was used in Australia, and these mobile suits were put in the hands of some really good old type veteran pilots that survived from the Battle of Odessa, from the colony drop on poor Sydney, Australia, and continued to defend Torrington Base for the entire end of the 1-year war and beyond, and got many, many kills. Indeed, this is the mobile suit that many of the most famous veterans and aces of the 1-year war used during the war and after, especially the Dancing Dark Death Lido Wolf, the highest scoring ace of the Earth Federation, even more mobile suits and ships than the new type Amuro Ray, who piloted the Gundam. Of course, my favorite grunt character in the Gundam Universal Century timeline, South Burney, as well as Larry Radley, Leela Rira, Anish Lothman, and many, many other grunt common rank soldiers that use the capability of this machine to great effect. Now, it was pretty expensive to produce compared to just your run-of-the-mill GIM, but it was much less expensive to produce than a Gundam, and as you see in the lore and in these replays, that its capability is on par with that of the Gundam in the right hands, and that is simply awesome. As far as game terms, I did just become a full-fledged corporal, and that enabled me to spend 27,000 DP, that's in-game currency, not real money, on my favorite mobile suit of all time, just to own it, which is, of course, the GIM Sniper 2, which is a support mobile suit. And if you see other replays on YouTube, and if you've experienced one of these mobile suits in the game, they can hit you from across the map and do very, very vicious damage when zoomed in and lying prone or on one knee. It's a lot of damage. If you can land a hit on a raid mobile suit while charging the weapon and while in either prone or kneeling stance, you can do upwards of 3, sometimes 4,000 damage per hit, which is just monstrous. Besides that, it also comes equipped with a ballistic version of the sniper rifle to circumvent any beam defenses, and this was also used in the real lore timeline, where it was less expensive to produce the 75mm long-range ballistic sniper rifle, and it circumvented beam coatings on armor and also particle beam fields like the eye fields or radioactive chaff that dissipated beam weapons. This would punch right through those defenses and get the kill, and that's very impressive. So the arsenal of this mobile suit is amazing, but I am using the White Dingo variant, and this variant was kitted out for ground use, so I can't use it in space, but it has access to the entire GIM arsenal in-game, including the mass-produced beam rifle, which I'm using in these replays. And it is very effective because, unlike support mobile suits, this is a general use mobile suit, which means you can use this mobile suit to snipe raids very effectively in trade blows with supports and still get out of danger using superior thrust and emergency evasion and many, many other very useful skills that only general use mobile suits have access to. And on top of all that, this particular variant in the 0079 side story game had a custom built-in Vulcan cannon on the head. You see it attached to the right side of the head there, which is something that the normal GIM Sniper 2 lacks, giving you some damage burst in between cooldowns for your beam rifle or in between reloads for your sniper rifle or bullpup machine gun. So I simply love this mobile suit. It's everything I wanted. It's a GIM Sniper 2 that's not stuck in the support role, but can get on the front line and really deliver the firepower like my favorite character South Burning did, and like many, many other mobile suit pilots did. What made this mobile suit so interesting is that it brought in so many capabilities from so many GIM lines. and many pilots used it from many different backgrounds. Lido Wolf was a gun cannon pilot and preferred killing from long range with superior accuracy and was a dead-eye shot. So much so that he got the nickname from Zeon Forces, Dancing Black Death or Dancing Dark Death, because he was darkness. If he put his eyes upon you, you went black and died, and he danced around dodging any fire you gave back at him. Unfortunately, he did die in the Battle of BO2. And of course, South Burning was a fighter pilot from space and from atmosphere, and went in first flying the light version of the GM, and then went to the normal GM, the GM Command, and then the GM Sniper 2. Came from a totally different background of dogfighting, of being a commander, of being a front line, lead from the front type of guy. Very wise, very smart, very capable pilot. And he was more of your general use type of guy, and he used the GM Sniper 2 as well. And all these various pilots came from different backgrounds and all found their way to this mobile suit, and it was a terrific fit for them, and they did very well with it. However, this mobile suit was in high demand and very low supply, and only saw combat for portions of the last month of the war, and only very few made it to the Battle of BO2 or the Battle of Solomon. And of course, even though it was one of the most successful GMs out there, they did issue it to inexperienced pilots who were closer to the factory, and unfortunately its first appearance in the Gundam universe was in the hands of rookies, where two of these were part of the Gray Phantom White Base crew, and they fought on the colony of Side 6 and were easily eliminated by a close combat Zeon mobile suit named the Camper. So in the wrong hands, this mobile suit had trouble fighting up close. In the right hands, or with the right variant, this thing was really awesome at any particular range. Now with these two replays I'm showing you, I actually had a better replay as far as score goes with a 0.5, but it was against a bunch of 100s and 250 point mobile suits, and I thought that would not be enjoyable for you. So the first one was one of my best replays. I've only been able to play this mobile suit 4 or 5 times in game, and the first battle went very well. I tested it out for the very first time using the beam rifle instead of the bullpup or the sniper rifle, and it did just fine. And then this second one was one that I only got a 4-0, but it was against Gundams and top-of-the-line DOMs, and it really showcased how this mobile suit can go head-to-head with some of the most vicious and dangerous mobile suits that the universe and the game have ever seen in the Gundam universe for Universal Century, and I did want to showcase that. It's much more enjoyable to watch, I think, because I performed very well, even though I didn't get as many kills as the replay that I didn't show. But this is a terrific mobile suit. If you can get your hands on it, it's great because it brings all the benefits of the GM Sniper 2 into a player that prefers the run-and-gun, close to medium range fighting of a general use mobile suit. It's very awesome. It has that secondary weapon of the Gatling gun, as well as beam sabers and grenades, and it can use the mass-produced beam rifle like the Gundam, or it can use the sniper rifle so that you do extra damage at long range to raid mobile suits and have a means of trading blows with support mobile suits, or you can use the humble bullpup with it, and it's a great thing. As far as the normal support version of the GM Sniper 2, that's coming soon, but it's a beautiful mobile suit, and it is now in my collection. So I think that about wraps up our story on my favorite mobile suit in the Universal Century timeline, maybe only tied with the Stark Jagan from 0096. And this mobile suit has a long, illustrious history and is the key point in the evolution of the GM, and later on the Nemo and the Jagan. Well, that's it from me for now, and I'll see you soon in Sinley Bay.